because time is very less. I do not know whether I can finish all this thing or not. And if you want, I can take after the Vijaya Dashami, before the Lakshmi Puja day, I can take 1 or 2 class in the night, if you wish to do. Otherwise, I will not take. Officially, I cannot say, but if you want, you can make 1 or 2 class.
লক্ষ্মী পুজোর পরে?
লক্ষ্মী পুজো থেকে একটা টাইম আছে, যে টাইমটা তোমাদের অ্যাকচুয়ালি ছুটি বলা হয়নি, কিন্তু ওটা ছুটি হয়ে যাবে আলটিমেটলি। সেই পিরিয়ডে যদি একটা দুটো ক্লাস তোমরা করতে পারো কোনো সময়, এটা তোমাদের মধ্যে নিজেদের মধ্যে ডিসকাশন করে আমাকে জানাবে। কিন্তু আমি তোমাদের বলবো না যে না ইট ইজ ম্যান্ডেটারি ফর ইউর অ্যাকচুয়ালি, ফর ইউর বেনিফিট অ্যাকচুয়ালি, ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট।
তখন কি পরীক্ষা হবে বলেছে? আমাদের মিড সেম পরীক্ষা হবে।
মিড সেম পরীক্ষা দেরি আছে, মিড সেম পরীক্ষা নভেম্বরের ফার্স্ট উইকে হয়তো হবে।
মানে ক্যালেন্ডারে ওই টাইমটা দেখানো আছে লক্ষ্মী পুজো থেকে কালী পুজোর মাঝে
দেখানো আছে, কিন্তু হবে কিনা জানি না, হতেও পারে। সেই জন্য বলছি যে তোমরা লক্ষ্মী পুজো আর বিজয়া দশমী এর ফাঁকে যদি তোমরা করতে পারো।
স্যার নভেম্বরে কি কলেজ খুলে যাবে?
আই ক্যানট সে, কারণ আবার তো বাড়ছে, থার্ড ওয়েভ কিনা জানি না, তবে আবার একটা মোটামুটি 600-700 এর মধ্যে থাকতো, হচ্ছিল মানে আমাদের এখানে ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলে, কিন্তু সেটা আবার স্প্রেড করে আবার 800 এর কাছে চলে গেছে, 750 ক্রস করে গেছে আবার। এবং
আজকে এক্ষুনি দেখলাম ওই ম্যাকআউট থেকে একটা নোটিশ বেরিয়েছে যে ওই সব পরীক্ষা মানে ওদের নেক্সট সেমিস্টারের পরীক্ষা নাকি অফলাইনে হবে, পেন পেপার মোডে। তো সেই জন্য সব স্টুডেন্টদের যাতে তাড়াতাড়ি ক্যাম্পাসে ফেরানো যায় তার প্রয়োজনীয় ব্যবস্থা নিতে বলেছে। আর ওই কলেজ রিওপেনিংটা 12ই নভেম্বরের পরে অ্যাপ্রুভ হয়ে যেতে পারে।
আমার নিজের ধারণা, আই ডু নট নো, আই ক্যানট সে, আমার নিজের খুব স্পেকুলেশন হচ্ছে নেক্সট সেমিস্টারের আগে এটা হবে না। নেক্সট সেমিস্টার, এই সেমিস্টারে বোধহয় এটা হবে না, নেক্সট সেমিস্টারে হতে পারে। এই সেমিস্টারে এখন যেহেতু তোমাদের নভেম্বর ডিসেম্বরে ফাইনাল সেমিস্টার হয়ে যাচ্ছে আর 2 মাস বাদে, আমার মনে হয় না এখন আর নতুন করে কিছু হবে। কিন্তু প্রচন্ড লস হয়ে গেছে তোমাদের, এইটুকু আমি বলবো। বিশেষত সেশনালগুলো, আর সেশনালগুলো যদি চালু করতে পারে তাহলে একটা হতে পারে। I cannot say right now, I cannot say anything. And after the puja, এই যে পূজা ফেস্টিভ্যাল, মানে you have to celebrate, after the celebration of puja, if the pandemic covid situation more or less control, তাহলে its probability is there. But if it is again goes up, shoots up again, say 1000, 2000, 5000, then again it will be delayed. It is my opinion or it's my view.
হ্যাঁ স্যার, এই যে নোটিশটা আমি বের করেছি স্যার, এটা বলছে ইট ইজ নোটিফাইড ফর ইনফরমেশন of all students and the principal directors of all affiliated colleges of MACOUT WB that the odd semester examination will be held in offline, that is pen and paper mode. Please ask the students staying outstation to return back to their respective campuses as soon as possible. The reopening of the colleges will be permitted after 12th November 2021 as per guidelines stated by the government of West Bengal.
আচ্ছা, এটা কিন্তু ওদের ওয়েবসাইটে নেই, কিন্তু মনে হচ্ছে ফেক।
না না, ফেক নয় রে, ম্যাকআউটে স্ট্যাম্প দেওয়া আছে, ম্যাকআউটে সিল
আরে
দেওয়া
তুই
আছে।
দেখ, আমি ঢুকলাম ওয়েবসাইটে, ওখানে নেই।
আরে আমাকে যে পাঠিয়েছে তো ম্যাকআউটে পড়ে, ও দিয়ে পাঠিয়েছে ওদের কলেজ থেকে ওকে।
শোনো, আলটিমেটলি এসব হওয়ার আগে আমাদের গভর্নমেন্ট থেকে একটা ডিক্লারেশন আসবে যে খোলা হতে পারে, কিন্তু যাদবপুর ইউনিভার্সিটি হ্যাজ সার্টেন প্রবলেমস বিকজ সাম আউটসাইড স্টুডেন্টস আর দেয়ার, আউটসাইডার্স আর দেয়ার, মানে যারা মানে ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলের বাইরে থাকে, ইভেন ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলেও অনেক দূরে থাকে, সো দে আর লিভিং ইন হোস্টেল। আনটিল অ্যান্ড আনলেস হোস্টেল ইজ সিকিউরড, সেফ, then and also many construction, reconstruction and repairing work has to be done before opening of this Jadavpur campus, because in many places there are dilapidations. That means the many places plasters have been damaged, doors have been damaged, sanitary installation is not proper, pipelines are not properly working. So naturally, until and unless these things are made proper, then I also tell that it should not be advisable to reopen your campus. This is my view. যদি হোস্ট যারা ডে স্টুডেন্ট যারা তারা they are staying in nearby their institute, they are staying at their home, no problem for them to come because sufficient precaution they can take in their home. But those who are those students are outsider and they are living in hostel, until and unless the hostels are properly sanitized and made clear for give the signal by the medical staff and others that it is okay, now you can stay. And also proper precaution must be taken during the staying at the hostel, because it is a practice that the students are coming, they are lying in their common bed or single bed. These habits, these practices are there. But at this moment, if they follow this practice, then there is a chance of spreading this disease. And once the disease spread, and one or two, because last time in Kharagpur IIT, I know that they have tried to open this institute. They opened it, and immediately after 7 days or 5 days within this period, the disease again spread. So about say 40 odd students, 50 odd students actually they have affected by this, and immediately they closed it. They are also there. They in that places also in Kharagpur also. I have regular communication with them, and they are also. I heard that the tremendous loss of academic activity. Yesterday, actually, I took one PhD Viva for IIST, B college. There also, I have heard that they did not work anything during this period. Only very little 2%, 5% work they could do it. So this is the situation, and also the job prospect is also very bleak. The research openings are also very bad. So what they will do, what the student will do, I do not understand actually what they do. Nobody is actually paying attention on this side, this aspect. This thing you should think of. Anyway, I am now starting. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Acha, now actually we will start our second phase of subject. Second phase. Actually, now we will be discussing here about the reinforcement details of different structures. You know that you know the what is a structure, and already you have come across big masonry building. Of course, it was a one-storied building. If it is a two-storied building, also only the same thing will be there. Plan will be there, elevation will be there, and also the sections will be there, and by which you can draw the plan, elevation, etc. for a brick structure building. Now we are discussing on frame structure building. Last time during the sessional class, actually I have told, or Professor AGN told, Professor DC has told, that in the frame structure, the entire building will be constructed on the basis of slab, beam, column, foundation. Now, when you will construct a building, you have to start from the bottom. That means you have to first dig earth, you have to excavate earth, you have to first do the foundation. Then after the foundation, you have to put your column, you have to construct column. Then column will be supported by beams, and beams will be placed on the 4 side or 3 side of a slab. Then ultimately you will go to the rooftop. But when you will design the system, when you will design any structure, then you have to come from the top. That means you have to start from the top of the building. That means from the staircase roof and roof. Then roof structure, roof load, floor loads, and also the foundation loads, as well as the self weight of all the structure should be taken for design purpose. But for construction purpose, you have to come from the bottom. Basic structural elements are, how many structural elements are there? Now, if you go to the top or if you go to the floor, the structural element I'm not talking about the functional components of the building. I'm talking about structural aspect where there is a frame structure. So frame structure means actually you have to make a grid plan. Grid plan consists of showing the column locations, column positions, foundation positions or foundation, then crosswise beams, primary beams, secondary beams, and then also you have to show the slab positions, slab panels, and finally you have to show the foundation. So this grid plan actually gives you or denotes that how the building structure is proposed to be made. That means it consists of basically network of different RCC members. All these structures or components are known as RC members. Members means column members, slab members, beam members, maybe primary beams, secondary beams, then foundation, then other important structure, maybe some cantilever beam. These are actually the RC members. So these RC members has to be drawn correctly and has to be shown properly. In your sessional problem, I have just explained or I have cited one example of a frame structure building. There actually I have shown you some location of column, some primary grids, secondary grids, etc. And then finally it comes to the foundation. But all these components in detail I have not shown, I could not show because of time constant. Now that you have to now incorporate in your drawing. In your drawing actually first you have to draw the plans. Now here actually in multi-storied building, especially for apartment buildings, normally the ground floor is kept reserved for garage space because individual garage construction is difficult to construct the to a limited space of the apartment house. So normally entire bottom, this ground floor is meant for keeping the cars, as well as there are some service blocks. Service block means there may be pump room, there may be electrical room, there may be lift room, lift maintenance room, there may be some water supply pump room, there may be security room, etc. That can be minor structures, can be constructed or can be placed at the ground floor. All other main flats or main house facilities are provided at the floors. So all the floors plans will be different, and all the floor plans will be different and maybe uniform also. Now the others are known as floor plans. So you have to construct one ground floor plan, you have to construct floor plans, typical floor plans, because it is considered that the arrangement of these floors are same, and then you have to construct you have to show the roof plan, and then also staircase and staircase roof. So that is your target. Now in doing so, you have to know the different RCC members details. Now RC member, when you will consider, then there will be a grid plan I have told, and then you have to start from the slab drawing and then ultimately from slab to beams. Now I am just giving you some you see what is meant by beam. Beam is basically horizontal member, just like our hands, horizontal members. Our hand is horizontal members. Our foot is vertical members. Our foot you can consider as column, and hand you can consider as a horizontal member. Now we can take the load through our hand. Similarly, beam is taking the load from the slab. Beam is taking all kind of loads directly from the slab. So slab is distributing the load to the beams. So beam is a horizontal member that carries the transverse external load, and that causes bending moment. I do not know how many of you are accustomed with bending moments. It should be known. Both lateral students and also the regular student, they should know what is bending moment. Now when there is a structure and it is loaded, then what happens? These internal materials of a structural component will under stress. Now there may be direct stress and there may be bending stress, because before failure it tries to bend it, it tries to deflect it and try to bend it. Now when it will try to bend it, then there will be some kind of stress develop, that is called bending stress. And due to the bending stress, if you take the direct force, that force into the some distance towards the support, that will give you the bending moment. And to resist the moment, you have to have the sectional properties like section modulus, Z values, etc. I by B will be your values, or I by R are minimum, that will give you the Z values, and that Z value must be, section modulus should be sufficient enough to take the bending moment. Now, in order to resist the bending moment, the concrete member, that means RCC, I have told you, the reinforced concrete members, or reinforced cement concrete. This RC, actually this cement concrete, they are not withstanding, or they are not good enough to support the tensile stress force. So bending in tension, bending in compression, both in cases the concrete member is not suitable. So in that case, what we do, we put some iron bars. Iron bars are actually extruded from the iron billets or iron materials that is made in the steel company, and then it is made, it's very small diameter rods, or say starts from the 6 millimeter and it goes up to say 30 to 40 millimeter, up to that. But normally in normal house we go for slab reinforcement, we go for 8 to 10 millimeter diameter, and for staircase 12 millimeter to 16 millimeter maximum, and for beam member we can go up to say 25 millimeter normally, 25 millimeter maximum, but normally we try to provide within 16 to 20 millimeter. So that is the beam. And for slab we go for smaller diameter, that is 8 to 10 millimeter, and for columns we go for 12 to 25 millimeter. Similarly, the foundation also 12 to 16 maximum, then we do not go for the higher diameter. So these diameter rods are provided and casted along with cement member, cement concrete. So when it is casted cement concrete along with this tensile members, that is the rod iron bars, then it can withstand the tensile stress. So whatever the tension will produce in the beam or in the slab or even in other column, foundation, etc., that can be taken care of by the iron members. So that is why, but in the case of a brick structure, that we could not get it. I have told you that the why it is a 250 millimeter thickness of the brick wall, why it is not 200, why it is not 125 as a load bearing wall, because it cannot withstand with any tension coming into the structure. That is why it is widened. It is widened. The brick structure is widened from 250 to 375, 375 to 500, like this. It is widened because the tensile zone will come outside of the structure. So no tension will be, actually the idea of load bearing wall was to, or is to, no tension should be developed within the brick faces or brick wall. So because the brick is actually weak in tension, but brick is very good for compression. So they can take the compressive load, but they cannot take the bending tension. So that is why, but the iron bar, they can take tension, and that is why when iron bar, similarly Concrete members are also, so only concrete member, plain concrete members, they are very good for compression, but they cannot take tension. So that is why iron bars are inserted. Now, how it can be shown and how it can be drawn, that should be your points, and that you should also know about it. So I have written here everything that I can share also afterwards, all this my notes and this presentation, that now it is I have written here, now it is quite well known fact that the concrete is strong in compression and weak in tension, that I have discussed, and that is why the reinforcement in concrete beams are provided, and that will take the tensile stresses not only in beam members but also in the slab members. Slab is also like beam. Difference the about you, if you just consider the theoretical phenomena, the beam and slabs, they both are same almost. Only the thing is that in beam, in the case of a beam, there are some specific width, specific breadth and height. In case of a slab, this is width is considered to be 1 meter per meter. So always per meter basis the slab is designed, and thickness will be the height will be the thickness of this slab. So slab thickness will be the slab thickness gives you the height of the slab, and width will be 1 meter, standard 1 meter, that is unit meter. In case of a beam, there is a specific width, say maybe 250, maybe 300, maybe 150, 200, like this. That is the width of the beam. Height also will be different depending on the requirement. So this is the B. This, if you consider a rectangular beam, then B into H. B is the width of the beam and width of the flange actually, width of the rib actually, and flange will be the top portion. It will be inserted and it will be embedded with slab, and we take the width of the rib. Rib means actually which you can see from the bottom of the ceiling, bottom of the slab. So this actually width of the beam is different from your slab, and height will be according to the requirement. So this is the things, but with slab, beams and slab both are designed on the basis of moment and whether it can be resisted or not. So resisting force gives by the section modulus of the respective beams and slab. In this way it is designed, but how you can be drawn, that I will show you also. Now deformed bars are known as torch steel bar, that is torch steel bar, twisted bar, and this is also known as HYSD. HYSD means actually high yielding stress, high yield tensile deformed bars. That means it can take more stress because it is twisted. So all the rods and reinforcement which you can see in the open area, they are basically torch steel. Torch steel is also denoted as HYSD parts, and these bars are and there are some plain bars also, some plain bars, that means not twisted bars. These bars are known as mild steel bar, MS bars. Now these MS bars or mild steel bars were used earlier, say about 40 years back, 30 years back. These mild steel bars were used, but nowadays it is not being used. It is used only in some specific case, very specific case, and only meant for lower size bars. The thing is that when previously these mild steel bars were used, at that time the bars were very easy to malleable. That means easy to deflect, easy to crank, easy to bend it by the laborers. But torch steel is little difficulties there for to bend it, and workability with torch steel bar is little difficult compared to mild steel bar. But the mild steel bar, the stress is less, so that is why huge amount of steel was required. But nowadays you cannot, it is not required. 1 minute. Nowadays
He is not from our class.
huh?
স্যার
ক্লাস নেই বের করে দিন স্যার
ডিস্টার্ব করতে পারে স্যার।
বেরিয়ে গেছে কিন্তু ওকে
বেরিয়ে
accept
গেছে
করা
স্যার, পরে আবার আসতে পারে।
Now you see, if it is disturbed now, I will also cannot keep the track. Okay, so I face lot of difficulties if somebody joins after that. Okay, if you disturb it, you will lose. I have not nothing. I will not lose it. Okay. So anyway, so I think up to this it is clear to you, or any question is there? You can ask me. What I have told so far, that why the reinforcement are used, why not plain cement concrete, why not bricks? Because it cannot withstand loads, and also it cannot take the tensile stress, it cannot take proper moment can be taken by the cement concrete also, but tensile stress they cannot take. So that is why reinforcement is provided. And reinforcement are of different sizes, that means and different character also. High yielding stress deformed bars are also there, that is known as HYSD. In short, it is known as taut steel. And another is plain bar, mild steel. But mild steel are normally used for distribution or very low construction. You have to only consider the taut steel, that means HYSD steels. And HYSD steel is better for bonding. Bonding means actually the slipping surface between the concrete and the reinforcement. It should not be slipped away. The reinforcement should not slip away from the concrete, and so that there should be proper bond must be there between the concrete and reinforcement, so that no parts will be dislodged from the one other. So now this is actually the typical bars. It is a left hand side, you see plain bars, mild steel bars. Previously it was used much more, but nowadays it's not used. This is deformed bar. Deformed bar means you will find some ribs. You will find some ribs at the top of the reinforcement. Now this is the simply supported beam, very simply supported beam. Simply supported beams means that the beam member, horizontal member, is supported by two support. Maybe one end is hinge, another is a roller. It is known like that, simply supported. But no beams actually in the real life, no beams are really a simply supported beams. All are basically fixed supports or partial fixing support, but not actually simply supported beams. Simply supported beams are only for some temporary structures. And now you see that when the load, it is a point load. Now when the point load is given, then the beam is try to bend. There is a bending tendency. And at the middle, if it is a rectangular beam, at the middle one, the neutral axis there. So in the neutral axis, there will be the tension at the bottom, and naturally you have to provide the reinforcement bar at the bottom, and that you have to also calculate what would be the position of the neutral axis. This thing will be read in your structural class also, design classes. So since it is not the design class, so I am just escaping it. Now you see, regarding the types of beam, that means it depends on the configuration. It depends on the configuration. According to the shape, it is a rectangular, circular, T shape. T shape means actually it will be assumed that it is some slab portion at the top of the slab portion may be used as a T shape, or L shape. L shape will be at the corner. L shape will be at the corner end of the beam, and in the middle strip always there will be a T shape. You can consider so that you can reduce the size. But the problem is that when you will draw the bending moment diagram, you will find that at the support, near the support, the tension in the upper face, tension in the top of the structure. So what will happen at that phase, the T-shape structure, the T-shape assumption will not hold good. So only their rectangular structure only will have to consider in the beam. So that is why the beam section will be reduced, and you have to provide your reinforcement and size accordingly. And most important thing is that near the support, the beam is liable to shear it off. That means beam will try to dislodge from the near the support. So that is why the shear design and shear reinforcement must be provided near the support of the beam. Beam is supported by column or another beam. Now, if the beam is secondary beam, then secondary beam will be supported by the primary beam. Primary beam normally always to be column to column are primary beam, but there are some primary beam, they may be also considered column to beam or other places. Now, primary beam is actually giving the load to the primary beam is distributing load to the column, and the secondary beam always to distribute the load to the primary beam. Now, that beams maybe say T-shaped beam, maybe L-shaped beam, maybe rectangular. Normally we consider rectangular. That you will do it in your design class. And according to the support condition, the beams are classified as simply supported, fixed support, continuous support, cantilever support. Now, I think in your building drawing, near the staircase portion, I have told you that you can extend one beam, and on the top of the beam you can rest on your landing slab. Now, there actually that was the cantilever beam. And whenever cross beam, actually I propose to provide the wall support on the top of your cantilever landing slab. There actually one simply supported sort of beam was provided between the two cantilever beams. So cantilever beams was extended from your staircase portion, and from the staircase, from that portion you have to provide in transverse way in the other direction another beam. So that beam was actually basically your simply supported, and cantilever was in the other side. So these type of beams I will try to show all kind of beams. And according to the reinforcement, now if only one side reinforcement is there, so normally you will see that the reinforcement in the beam is at the bottom end. I have told that bottom tension will be there, so naturally the bottom end, and bending moment is also in the bottom direction, because the reinforcement shape will be in the bottom, and naturally the bottom we are providing, but bottom means actually the lower side in the below side, and if it is in the upper side, it's the top side, then reinforcement should be provided at the top also. So this is simply reinforcement means actually this only one layer reinforcement is there at the bottom, or one or two layer reinforcement provides in the bottom position of the beam. So that is called single reinforcement beam. But there will be doubly reinforced beam, doubly reinforced beams is actually when two layer structures are provided. Two layer structure means both bottom and top, both bottom and top. Doubly reinforcement beam, you can read it in higher class. Now, when doubly reinforcement beams are provided, now when the requisite bending moment actually you have to calculate theoretical bending moment, and when if you provide a beam with normal reinforcement, it not sufficient enough to take the bending moment of theoretical bending moment, then you have to provide some extra reinforcement at the top layer, at the top portion, at the upper portion, so that it can be compensated. And sometimes it is some architectural requirement, say height of the beam. If the beam height is more, because in other cases, if you want to take the theoretical bending moment, say your theoretical moment comes about say 10,000 kilonewton meter. I'm just giving some arbitrary value, 10,000 kilonewton meter. Then what happens if you provide some beam, say 250 by 400 size beam, it can take care of say 7,000 kilonewton meter. So how this extra 2,500 kilonewton meter will come? In that case, you have to provide extra depth. Now, if you want to provide extra depth, then what will happen? Your headroom may not be achieved. So it looks also odd, and it gives some discomfort scenario. So that is why what we have to do, we compensate this thing by putting some extra rod or extra reinforcement at the top face. So 2500 2500 kilonewton meter can be compensated with by the provision of some extra rod at the top only, not at the bottom, and that revised section is known as doubly reinforced beam. Now these are the beams. You see, these are the rectangular beams. These are the rectangular beams. The first drawing is a rectangular beams. When there is a width and rib is there, and only the wave portion is there. This is the wave portion. The depth is actually known as wave portion or rib of the beam, and this is the width of the beam. Here you see almost T-type section. These T-type of sections are normally provided in flyovers, in say bus stand, or say travel path, and all these places, this kind of overbridge, there also this kind of beams are provided. You see almost T shape. At the top there is a flange. This is called flange. The width of the top is called as flange, and this is the rib. The height is known as rib. So this is completely, this is an integrated shape, this integrated structure. So integrated beam you can consider as a, according to the shape, this is a T beam. And at some cases, at the corner end or side end, the beam will be shaped as a L beam. You see, this is the L beam. There are also some flanges there and height is there, but this is in L shape. L shape here, actually the L shape is coming as a just like looking as a L, but it can be reversed also. That means L may be like this. Here also it comes, and then it comes like this. But normally the L shape, we mean that L shape means like L. The configuration looks like L. Now here you see there is a curved beam. Here you see this is a curved beam. Normally it is constructed for water tank or any some towers type of structure or vertical structure, railway constructions. Many places these kind of beams are there. Now here you see there is a beam. These beams are actually basically primary beams. The lower portion beams are primary beams. On the top of this primary beam, secondary circular beams are provided. Some circular beams is provided on the top of the primary beam, and the shape of the beam is circular one. Say if you just take the cross section, you will find that there is a frustum of a circle, and you will find that the entire shape is in a circular one. This is a normal structure. You see, this is a rectangular structure, rectangular beam, and ultimately all these beams are actually going to a central vertical column for distributing the entire load to the column. So I think, did you understand these four diagrams? If you have any question, you can tell.
Sir, the T-shaped beam, sir, can you explain again where is this attached?
Which one?
That's sir, the T-shaped beam. Like, which part of the slab is it attached to? I couldn't understand it.
You see, upper portion, can you see it?
Yes, sir.
The upper portion is a deck, almost a deck sort of thing. Deck, D-E-C-K, deck sort of thing. Now this is actually the slab portion basically. This portion is slab. It is inserted into the slab, but we are considering some width of the slab, some portion of the slab, some width of the slab portion acting as a flange of a beam, and then that is also connected to the height of the beam. This is the height. This height is known as rib height. Okay, so this weight of the rib is separate, but this is only the beam portion. The vertical portion is only beam portion. The horizontal portion is inserted into the slab portion. Now, when you have to consider the total portion, that means flange and this both is height, then it looks like a T. So that is why it is known as a T beam. বুঝেছো?
Sir. So, sir, L-shaped beam mein ki, the part which is horizontal, that is on the slab.
হ্যাঁ না, এটা হরিজেন্টাল অফ দি স্ল্যাবও থাকতে পারে, এটা অন্য জায়গাতেও থাকতে পারে, মেবি ইনসার্টেড উইথ সাম আদার্স কাইন্ড অফ স্ট্রাকচার্স, ফ্ল্যাট স্ট্রাকচার, বাট দি ভার্টিক্যাল স্ট্রাকচার্স উইল বি অলওয়েজ বি a separate structure. That means the vertical structure is a beam, an integral portion of the beam, and this horizontal face that will be inserted to either column, or mostly it is inserted to slab. Mostly it is inserted to slab. So, and it is located at the side end. If you consider at the side of your slab, তোমাদের বাড়িতে যদি কোনো একটা বিম বাড়ির সাইডে থাকে, তাহলে সেখানে যে বিমটা দেওয়া হয় at the corner, that is actually your L beam. It looks like L because T portion cannot be, you cannot manage the T portion at the up or at the top portion. এটা আরো পরে ডিসকাস করা যাবে, জাস্ট এখন এইটুকু জানো। Now you see the according to the support condition, I have told you that cantilever beams মানে এইভাবে, there is a fixed support, there is a fixed support, maybe column, maybe beam, and slab sometime to some extent, but mostly beam and column, and from there beam is coming up, and that is cantilever. No support is there. Now there are some simply supported beam. Already I have told that if the beams are supported on the two supports, then it is known as simply supported. And sometimes what happens, in between there are two supports, and beam is extended in both the end. Both the end it is extended. Now when it is extended, it is known as overhang beam. It is known as overhang beam. It is hanging at the two ends. It may be uniform, that means equilibrium. Uniform means here that the both side, the total length of the overhang portion may be same, may not be the same. So unequal overhang may be there, equal overhang may be there. So that is also possible in the overhang sort of beam, but normally we try to put the regular overhang beam. Regular overhang beam means it will be in the two sides, the span length will be equal. So that is the another type of beam. And you will find in the metro railway construction, if you go to the site only you can understand. Last time actually I took some student, even in this period, pandemic period, I took some third year student. Now presently they are in third year. I took some students to visit some of the construction site. There actually I have shown different types of beams and how it looks and how it can be constructed, and they have got some kind of training there. I actually guided in the taking the permission of Indian Railway and also some other organizations, private organizations, those who are actually involved as a contractors. And also I took the permission from Indian Railway that to show the overbridge, to show the column, to show the portal frames, to show the different type of platform buildings, etc. There are all kind of structures are there, and I could show them different type of these type of beams. But now theoretically I am discussing, and I think you can understand things because it's a huge subject. One day, 2 day, it is not possible to cover all these things. I am trying only. And you see there is a continuous beam. Continuous beams means there are many supports. Many supports. This beam is rested on beams. These supports may be beams, may be columns, and multiple span is there. Span means actually the support conditions, support to support, support to support, central line of the support, another central line of the support. Between these two, that whatever the span is there, length is there, that is called as the span of the beam. Now there will be multiple span. So if the span may be equal, may not be equal. Span, all the spans may be equal, may not be equal, unequal. They may be unequal, they may be equal also. Now, if the equal span is there, your theoretical computation will be easier one, and all the construction also will be easier one. But sometimes it is not possible. Unequal spans are mostly observed, and you have to compute your theoretical bending moment, shear force, all the structural forces separately, and accordingly you have to provide the section of the beam. Accordingly you have to provide the reinforcement. Now here actually this is the continuous beam, and this is actually the fixed end. Fixed end means actually no deflection, no movement, no rotation of the beam. So that can be arranged by portal frame building. Portal frame building. In the portal frame building, it will be just like U-shaped construction, and then you can make a beam like this, and you can make a necessary support for that. But in other places also, the fixed beams are meaning that the beams should be held properly. It should not be deflect. It should not go away. It should not rotate. All these things. So fixed support, maybe a column support, maybe a column support. Column support will be also the fixed support. And you see cantilever simply supported. It is actually not simply supported. In one side fixed support is there. In one side fixed support is there, and the another side is simply supported is there. Just like propped, it is known as propped cantilever. It is known as prop like cantilever. Now, in your puja pandal, you have seen lot of props, bamboo props or steel props, mostly bamboo props. বাঁশের যে খুঁটিগুলো দেয়া হয়, শাল খুঁটি বা বাঁশের খুঁটি দেয়া হয়, that is called prop. So these props are normally provided at one end to show that there would be no excessive deflection. Now, if you just take a pen, your column, মানে pen, column যাকে বলে, you take a pen, put it on your hand, and some portion you make it overhang, give some load in the right hand side, then you will find that your hand is moving upwards. Your hand is moving upwards, and your column is actually deflected towards the downward. So now to avoid this thing, what you have to do? You have to put the right hand side so that the column will held in perfectly in horizontal position. So that is the prop, and this is the prop, and you have to indicate your symbols like this. That in some cases it is a roller support, then you have to give a roller support like this. If you have to give some pin support is means actually the load is always going vertical direction at the center of the support. This is normally done truss structure, steel structure. For many truss structures which is provided below the shed, industrial shed, building shed, and also in some cases some flyover structures, as well as you can see it in a bridge structure. There are many pin jointed structure, you can get it. So pin jointed structure to be located like will be shown like this, and fixed support you have to make this kind of support. That is the support vertical line, and below the vertical line and side of this vertical line you can make some hatch marks. So that is called as fixed support. And there will be some simply supported beams, and simply supported will be some just a structure like this. Now you see, this is something about your beams. That in the beam support, actually you see, this is the total height of the beam. And then you have to make some cover so that there will be no kind of corrosion chance will be there between the exposure to the environment and also to the reinforcement, because the reinforcement is liable for corrosion if the air is going inside it, if the water goes inside it, and if it is immersed on the water, then there will be chances of rusting, and if the rusting is excessive, then there will be a corrosion. So since the corrosion likely to be occur, it must be protected, and it can be protected by giving a cover. So cover means that between the final phase of the reinforcement and the top phase or bottom phase of the concrete portion. So here actually, and between the center line of the top of the, so considering this is single reinforced beam, I am talking here about the single reinforced beam. So here actually in the single reinforced beam, actually in the bottom portion your main reinforcement is there, and if you take the CG of the all reinforcement, center of gravity line of the bars, and between the center lines and top fibers, top height of the top portion of the concrete portion, between these two height is known as effective height. Normally it is given as it is denoted as D effective, small d effect, or D, simply D sometime also small d can be also simple small d can also be denoted, and d effective can be also denoted. D effective means actually the CG of the bottom reinforcement and top height of the beam, concrete face. So this is the effective height and this is the cover. Between the cover actually will be the bottom of the reinforcement and the bottom line of the concrete face. Between the concrete face and bottom of the bars, that is called the clear cover, and we do not consider any kind of decorative finish there. That means no plaster, nothing we should not be considered. Only the reinforced concrete members. In the reinforced concrete members, you are providing actually the rods at the top and bottom. Rods provided at the top normally not for your movement purpose. It is basically to provide, to help or to assist to provide the shear reinforcement. Actually here the shear reinforcement to be provided, and that should be provided through the two horizontal bars at the top. But bottom reinforcement is actually your working or effective reinforcement. But in the support portion, this is actually this cross section is done at the middle portion of the beam, not at the middle section of the beam, not at the top, not at the support portion. So at the support portion, main reinforcement will come at the top. Main reinforcement also will come at the top. Now, if you provide the main reinforcement at the top, then your effective height will be reduced, because you see in the effective height, effective depth, in that case, not you have to take from your top portion of your concrete face. You have to take from the CG of the top reinforcement and also the bottom height of the reinforcement. So in that case, one bar height will be reduced in case of a support region. That will come actually, and clear cover, I have told you already, the reinforcement should be provided a cover, and the thickness of the cover, excluding the thickness of the plasters and others, should be adopted as follows. Now, it is mentioned that clear cover should not be less than 1 inches. 1 inch. 1 inch means actually round about 25 millimeter. But actually for slab reinforcement, you cannot provide 25 millimeter cover. Otherwise, if you just consider clear cover 25 millimeter, your effective depth of the slab portion will be reduced, and in that case you have to put much more thick slab. That will be uneconomical and that will be not properly justified. So in the slab reinforcement or slab portion, your effective cover may be 15 millimeter to 19 millimeter. So for slab portion, but for beam, column, there also you can have the minimum of 25 millimeter clear cover. In case of a column, it should be more also. It should not be less than 40 millimeter. And in case of a beam, it should not be less than 25 millimeter. In case of foundation, it should be 50 millimeter also. In case of foundation, where the soil is touching with the main concrete members, there actually you have to provide about say 50 millimeter clear cover for foundation portion. That means the foundation footing. But otherwise, for slab actually you can go a minimum of 15 millimeter clear cover. And if the your thickness of the slab is much thick, that means actually in case of a industrial floor, industrial building, the thickness of the slab comes about 150 millimeter sort of thing. There you can provide your clear cover 25 millimeter. But in case of a normal building, normal residential building, it is, you cannot go up to that kind of higher clear cover. You can go for 15 millimeter clear cover in case of a slab for a small domestic houses. But in case of a beam, you have to provide minimum of 25 millimeter, or you can provide some in between 20 to 25 or say 30 millimeter up to, but normally it is 25 millimeter. But in case of a column, it will be more, it will be say 40 millimeter. So clear cover is very important from environmental point of view, from the exposure point of view, and also from the calculation of effective depth. Now I have told you just some time back two different type of reinforced beams, that is singly reinforcement beams and also doubly reinforcement beams. And doubly reinforcement beams I have just told also that why it is needed. Now when the restriction of the beam height is given, your room height is say 3 meter, 3.3 meter, and if you provide your rib of the beam, wave of the beam, say for instance a 600 millimeter or 450 millimeter, then height will be reduced. If you put your ceiling fan, then your fan may touch your head. So to avoid all this situation, then what to do then? Because your depth requirement will be more. In your depth requirement for your singly reinforcement beams will be more. So if you want to put your depth very high, then you cannot get the headroom. So from that point of view, you can make that the singly reinforcement beams, that singly reinforced beam may be taking 50% of the total moment, and rest of the moment will be taken by the rods, by putting the reinforcement bars at the top. So these bars, 3 bars at the top, 3 bars at the bottom, and also this concrete section make a single unit, and that can take care of your total moment coming, and it can be solved. And if you provide a singly reinforcement beam, then in case only bottom reinforcement will be there, and on the top of this bars is meant for actually making the shear reinforcement. Okay, the top bars will be only meant for shear reinforcement. The top bars is actually no function. But when actually there will be a doubly reinforcement beam, then you do not provide any bars extra as a top bars. The top bars actually you do not require to provide here in case of a doubly reinforcement beam, because at the top beam bars are there and in the bottom bars are there. So you can put shear reinforcement in this way. And here also you can put a shear reinforcement in this way. Shear reinforcement or the stirrups, it is known as stirrups also. The stirrups can be provided along with the main bars and at the top of the bars, that is the rebars. Now rebars actually is not necessary for doubly reinforcement beam because the already bars are there. But in case of a singly reinforcement beams, your rebars also is required to provide, but it will be of lesser size. It will be not the same size of the main reinforcement. These are the main reinforcement. 3 bars are main reinforcement. Here also 3 are main reinforcement. At the top also main reinforcement. Here actually these bars are not main reinforcement. It will be much less. If this bar size is 16 millimeter or so, this reinforcement, this reverse size would be say 12 millimeter. In case of it is a 25 millimeter, 20 millimeter, it will be maximum 16 millimeter. But normal it is not given. 12 millimeter will be the sufficient. So this is the arrangement of the doubly reinforcement and singly reinforcement beam. This is the span, clear span. Sometimes it is known as a clear span. It is sometimes it is clear span, that is between end to end support, face to face support, or center line to center line of the support. Now the center line to center line support, if you consider, then it is known as the effective span of the beam. This is the continuous beam. This is the continuous beam. Now I have told you that the continuous beam or beam individually, they can be compared with slab. Slab is nothing but it is designed on the basis of beam. Whatever the technique is required for design of a beam and the technique of the designing of a slab, more or less same. Slab and beam both are more or less same. Only thing is that in case of a beam, you have to consider only the width of the beam and height of the beam is more. In case of a slab, you have to consider 1 meter width of the slab as a beam and depth thickness will be much less. This is the basic difference between these two. Otherwise, the deflection checking and also the moment checking, reinforcement are all more or less theoretically the procedure will be the same. Now here actually you see it is the L is actually the effective span of the beam or effective span of the slab in one direction, and this is the thickness of the red color. You can upper portion, you can see that is the actually the depth of the slab, and along with there is a support here, and the beams are also some portion is inserted within the slab. It is known as monolithically connected. Monolithically connected. Monolithically connection means when the beam and slab is constructed integrally, that means at the same time, at the same way, when you are constructing slab, at the same time the beam is also being constructed, and integral way it is being constructed, then it is known as monolithical construction. Monolithical construction. And when monolithical construction is there, proper bonding can be taken place, and then some portion of the slab is also inserted into the beam. So beam is also taking some, helping some kind of sectional advantage of slab at the top portion. So top portion, if say for instance I am giving, say slab is your actually 125 millimeter, say for instance 125 millimeter thickness of the slab, and height of total height of the beam is say 250 millimeter. Say that means say 250 millimeter, maybe 300 millimeter also. That means 300 minus 125, 175 millimeter will be your actually 175 millimeter will be actually the height of your rib that you can see at the bottom of the slab. But integratically you can take the both. Integratically it has to be taken both as your beam portion, taking from the slab portion. I will try to show. I do not know whether I will be able to show all these things. I am having all structural videos and etc. I have actually taken, and I have some lecture also at the spot lectures, site lectures, but I do not know whether I can able to show it to you or not, because in my computer is not supporting all these things, all these apps are not there. So I may not, I will take the help of Probal. Probal may present some slide prepared by myself, and I have actually transferred these slides to, or these videos to some of your friends. I have requested him to share you all. I think he will be shared. So naturally there will be no problem. When you will see it, everything will be clear. But actually when I'm giving you lecture, at the same time I may not able to show all kind of videos. I will try by taking somebody's help, so then it will be very clear to you. But if you go to the any kind of real life site, if you are interested, I can take you, and you can go to that some kind of actually real life places where the construction is going on. Then you can see all these things, and then it will be clearer to you. It will be very clear that how the things are being made. By giving lecture, it is not possible always to show everything. So these are the beams, different type of beams. It is not only you see this portion is overhang portion. Right hand side is an overhang portion. This is a cantilever portion, and all others is are nothing but it is a effective length continuous support. These are the different support portion only. And you see in the right hand side, I do not know whether you can able to see or not, and there is a chance of going down either in the right hand side or left hand side. So this is to be resisted. How you can give the proper resistance? By putting some fixicity. So these are actually the frames, means actually is a combination of slab, beam, column. Combination of slab, beam, column, and finally the foundation. That is actually the frame, and it is a center to center distance should be allowed. In case of a cantilever, only the whatever the overhang portion plus center line from the face of the beam, that will be your effective span of the cantilever. But we should not actually consume much time on this thing, because everything will be taught in your design classes. How much reinforcement will be required, that has been given. B is equal to the width of the beam, D is equal to effective depth, and Fy is equal to actually the strength of the reinforcement. Now normally we provide ribbed reinforcement, that means HYSD bars, and normally it is taken as 415, and it is denoted as Fe 400. Fe means actually the iron bar, and Fe 415, 415, 500, 250. That actually stands for that what is the strength of the reinforcement, Newton per millimeter square. Newton per millimeter square. It is in SI unit. Previously it was kg per centimeter square. Now it is used as a Newton per millimeter square. So Newton per millimeters actually for high yield SD bars normally it is 415. 500 can be also provided, but normally 415, and 250 also. Normally in our local area 250 is the normal strength of the rib bars, but if you can take the good company bars, then it can go up to 415. And how much now? Sometimes you can say that if I provide some more reinforcement, our building will be very strong enough. People can sometimes believe that if we provide some more rods in the slab portion or in other portion, our structure will be very strong enough. But no, never. It will be over reinforcement. So if it is an over reinforcement, then what will happen immediately when the load will be when some more loads will be at certain instant will come, then what will happen immediately? It will break. Immediately it will break, and no deflection can be shown by the member. So you cannot take any protection. But if it is an under reinforced condition, but or it is a balanced condition, then what will happen? At least you can take some time. You can protect that building, protect that structure. So that you have to consider that you should not make it over reinforcement. And how much reinforcement you can put it? 4% of the cross section of the beam. 4%. So you should not take more than that. 4% at least you can go for it, and 4% of the total cross section area of the beam or any kind of reinforcement member. So everything is given actually all kind of reinforcement, how much reinforcement you can give it, that everything is given in our code, RCC code, reinforced cement concrete code for civil engineering discipline. It is given in this number IS 456, and it is revised in after 456. Whatever the things are shown, that is the year of publications or year of division. Year of division code sometimes is revised year to year. When I was a student at that time, IS 456 1964. Then when I was just about to pass, then IS 1978, and then I worked with IS 2000. And when I am not becoming a teacher, I am using IS 2000. But more or less it is the same thing. Only thing, some portion has been revised from the previous thing. So this thing we can take it, and there are some clause in between. There are some articles, there are some sections. These sections are known as clause. So clause number 26.5.1 into 2, that actually gives you the how much reinforcement you can provide in a beam. So there everything given is a detail, and you have to follow it. Shear reinforcement is a vertical stirrup. By putting vertical stirrup, then you can resist the shear force. Shear force acts on the diagonally in the beam member near the support mainly. So naturally you have to resist it, and that how much shear reinforcement can be provided, that is also given. But at this stage it is not required. You have to know that how it has been drawn. Side face reinforcement. Side face reinforcement is actually basically when the depth of the beam is much high. The depth of the beam is much high, say বেশি হয় যদি অনেক বেশি হয়, in that case you have to provide a side face reinforcement, that in between that along the depth of the beam you have to provide some small reinforcement or some area of the reinforcement, so that in two equal faces, then you have to provide some kind of reinforcement, and that will be 0.1% of the total area and wave area actually. So in the wave, and the distance between this reinforcement should be within 300. Normally we prescribe 250. I will show you after that. You see, that is a typical drawing of a beam. You see, this is the longitudinal section. It is considered a single span. That means only, see, one span, this may be fixed support or considering simply supported also, but it is partially fixed or fixed beam. And you see on the top red color the reinforcement, that is the top bars, and the bottom actually that is the bottom bars. We consider the bottom reinforcement actually the tensile steel, that is the main bars, and at the top actually this top bars is mainly meant for rebars, or that is given for holding the stirrups. And all these vertical lines are known as actually shear reinforcement stirrups. Now shear should be spaced at certain distance. Normally we prescribe that this in the middle portion, in the span portion of the beam, this middle portion is known as span portion. Now in the span portion, on middle span, the stirrup should be slightly dispersed, slightly more the distance. The interval would be slightly more, because the shear force is not so much high in the middle portion, but in the near the support portion the shear force will be maximum. So that you will find that shear reinforcement near the support, not exactly it goes to the support. You should not consider the support means shear for shear inside the supporting structure. You should consider at the face of the support, just at the face of the support. So towards the face of the support, the shear reinforcement are closely spaced. That means it is, the spacing would be reduced compared to the middle portion. Now there will be some section to be taken from the support, maybe L by 4, L by 3, and that from that portion you have to start the closing of the, or the closer spacing, or relatively closer spacing of the vertical stirrup. Vertical stirrup is meant for shear reinforcement. So otherwise the shear reinforcement will be not so much closer, it will be wider. And these reinforcement are sometimes known as nominal reinforcement, nominal stirrup. Nominal stirrup means that you can straight away you can put it at certain distance of JD. J is at a coefficient factor, maybe 0.87, something like that. D is the effective depth of the beam. So if you multiply 0.87 into D, effective depth, whatever the distance will come, that type of spacing can be provided as a nominal reinforcement. And the nominal reinforcement and minimum reinforcement for shear should be like this: A divided by B into SY equal to 0.4 divided by 0.87 FY. FY is actually the stress value. The stress value of the reinforcement, I have already told that it is actually 415 Newton per millimeter square, and that will be the 0.4 divided by 0.87. Whatever the things will be there, that will come into the 100, multiply by 100. That will be the percentage of the minimum shear reinforcement. And minimum shear reinforcement, if you can provide it in terms of distance, then it will give the interval distance. So interval distance also this known as spacing, and maximum spacing of the stirrup not greater than 0.5 D. I have told you 0.87 D. That 0.87 is J. So if you J is 0.87, then 0.87 into J. J means another 0.8. If you can take it, it will come to close to 0.7 or something like that. So that is why instead of going to the J value, you can also take as 0.75 D. So that is 0.75 D will be the spacing. Otherwise, if it is not satisfied, now if you get it, this value 0.75 D is more than 300 millimeter, then you cannot do the more than 300 millimeter. So whatever the less value, so either it will be 0.75 D or so 300 would be virtually the maximum distance you can provide it for your beam. Otherwise you have to provide 0.75. It comes less, and this is the area of the stirrups, area of the stirrups. And stirrups or vertical, this reinforcement, shear reinforcement cannot be inserted into the supporting structure. It should be much more closer near the support and much more wider in the middle span. So this is actually the main reinforcement, red color, that is the main reinforcement. and this is held up with a stirrup. You see, these are known as legs. This is called a single leg. Single leg means one single leg means that a stirrup will come here horizontally, then go up, and then it will be tied with another reinforcement bar, and it will be held here, cut here. Whole reinforcement bar will cut here actually. Now when it will cut here and then it will be totally inserted, then it is known as single legged একটা পা, single legged stirrup provided in the beam. And it may be double leg. If you can make it another leg here, that will be double leg, depending on the shear shear force and requirement. So this is the actually the beam reinforcement. It is a tension here. It will be deflected. Bending moment will be there. So tension zone will be there at the bottom. So that is why at the bottom we are providing reinforcement steel, reinforcement bars. And this will be the, if you take the load, a direct common load, a point load in the beam, then left hand side and right hand side there will be moment and shear force. The moment will be PL by 2. PL by 2 will be the maximum moment at the center, and if you take the shear force, then it will be the left hand side portion, it will be P by 2, it will be P by 2. So accordingly you have to provide the shear reinforcement here, and accordingly for the maximum moment will be here. So at this zone, at this middle zone, you have to provide the maximum reinforcement depending on your...
Actually we have the class after that, so may I, after showing the video, it will be better if you stop.
So I think I could not finish all the drawing. I do not know when I will show it again here. I do not know whether you have understood or not, whatever I have told.
Yes sir, you have understood.
Yes sir. Yes sir, যতটা পড়িয়েছেন বুঝেছি।
You see, there are several things are there, and
Yes
I think
sir, but we have the geology class.
এই দেখো একটা, this is actually the beam, continuous beam. You see, this is a vertical bars actually. This is actually vertical bars, and this is inclined bars. This inclined bars is basically meant for shear reinforcement, and it is nearer to support. You see, it is nearer to the support portion. These are the support, and nearer to the support, these inclined bars are there. These inclined bars is basically meant for taking care of shear force, for shear stress. So whatever shear stress will be developed due to the load coming into the beam, that will be taken care of by inclined bars. But nowadays, instead of inclined bars, it is provided as vertical stirrup only, vertical stirrups only. So many things are there. If I get time, I can tell you afterwards. And so I'm just now stopping my presentation. Now I would request Probal to, if he can share
Yes, sir.
the video, then I will show 1 or 2 figures, and then I will stop it today.
Sir, will
This-
you send us the PPT lecture?
This is actually connected to your this Probal will try to show some of the video which I have actually prepared. I have taken this all kind of drawings from a real life site. That will be shown only the slab portion. You see slab reinforcement regarding the slab. একটু আমার ভয়েসটা চালিয়ে দাও, তাহলে সুবিধে হবে আমার মনে হয়। This is basically the reinforcement regarding your slab. Now slab is always designed on the basis of panels. Now you see here the reinforcement are laid on the top of the slab face. At the top face, it is now we are seeing actually just reinforcement has been placed in particular area, and you will find that all these rods are 8 millimeter to 10 millimeter diameter, and slab is supported by 4 beams in 4 sides. You will find that this is the slab reinforcement. This is the slab reinforcement. This is slab reinforcement. Now here you see that distance between the two reinforcement in a particular direction, say x direction, it is round about 150 to 160 millimeter. In other side also, this is a longitudinal side, this is the transverse side. Now in the main reinforcement is given in the shorter span. In the shorter span, the main reinforcement has been given, so that this is the main reinforcement. My finger is there on the top of the reinforcement. This is the main reinforcement in the shorter directions. And in the longer direction, also there is a rod, and that is also the reinforcement, and that is due to two-way slab. This is a two-way slab. LY by LX is more than 2. Sorry. LY by LX is less than 2, less than and equal to 2. Then it is known as two-way slab. If it is more than 2, then it is known as one-way slab. One-way slab means actually slab spanning in one direction. So main reinforcement will be only in the one direction only. Now here you see in the two directions main reinforcement have been given. So almost there are the 4 layers. Now so that there are so many spacers are there. These are spacers. These are actually the spacers. This is about say 10 to 15 millimeter depth spacer. You see this is the spacer. This spacer is required just to place the reinforcement in proper place, so that it should not embedded with the bottom of the slab. And everywhere such kinds of spacers have been provided. Spacers are for beams, it will be 20 to 25 millimeter, and for slab it is 15 to 20 millimeter. Sometimes it is given as 12 millimeter, half inch approximately. But normally it is 15 millimeter, the spacer, and that spacer is very much required to keep the reinforcement in proper place. Now you will find there are some electrical wiring pipes because of the conceal wiring. After the construction is done, there will be no such digging of plaster and etc. It should not be damaged. So that is why before construction, normally the pipelines are laid, and through pipelines the electric lines should be given. Electric lines should be inserted. So that is why this is the conceal wiring, and due to this conceal wiring, you see this is the conceal wiring. This concealing wiring, that is why the pipelines are already provided. Now here the main thing is that this is the column reinforcement. This is the column. You see the vertical parts are there, and there will be some rings. At the bottom you will find some rings are there. These are known as tie bars. Now these are mainly 16 millimeter pi, 16 millimeter diameter column, and the columns are vertically inserted. So naturally it's a vertical member. Naturally reinforcement will be in the vertical side. Here you see each reinforcement. Here you see a small cantilever is there. It is not cantilever sort of thing, but almost cantilever. In the cantilever slab, you see this is the cantilever slab. This is the cantilever slab. Now this cantilever slab, this is the cantilever slab. Now this cantilever slab, you see here the cantilever slab, only reinforcement will be given at the top side. Only reinforcement will be given at the top side. So this will be, you see, you will find that the reinforcement have been started at almost 1/3 length or 1/4 length of the slab, and then it will go up. You see here, it will go up. You see the crank is there. Here you find some cranks. Here you find some cranks. These cranks will straightway go to the top, and it will lead to the last edge of the slab. This is cantilever, almost cantilever horizontal slab meant for veranda area, and this veranda area cantilever slab will be provided, followed by a beam here. You see beams are there. Also beams are here. The beams are actually horizontal member. It carries load from the slab, and then it will be distributed to the column. You will find here you will find here the beams are connected to column. Just you see, beams are connected to the column. You see here, beams are connected to the column. You see, this is the beams, this is the slab, cantilever slab, and this is the beam, this is the column. Beams are connected with column. So the junction of this beam and column, very important. You just look into detail that how the reinforcement are coming into the column and how the beam reinforcement is inserted into the column, followed by in the other side the slab reinforcement are there. You see, this is the slab reinforcement. This is a beautiful picture of the slab reinforcement. 150 millimeter 100 millimeter spacing, horizontal dimension, interval between the two reinforcement 150 millimeter, and in one side is 150, another side also 115. It maybe depends on actually the design of the slab, but more or less in many places, if the design is not done properly, 150 is a very standard one. 150 to 200 millimeter center to center spacing is a very common one, and you can provide it without going for any detail calculation. But if you go for detail calculation, whatever requirement is there, that requirement you have to provide. This is the arrangement I am just showing, that how the things are being arranged. These are the reinforcement arrangement, beam, column and slab. Staircase, unfortunately I cannot show you, but I think whatever I have shown you, it is clear. Now in the slab reinforcement, what I want to say, in the slab reinforcement there will be one span reinforcement. This portion is actually span reinforcement. This is the middle portion of the slab. So whatever it is given, whatever the reinforcement have been provided, here. These reinforcement are basically meant for middle strip. That means the middle zone. Middle zone is the span reinforcement, and in the beam portion, in the beam region, these are known as support reinforcement. So the support reinforcement comes from the two sides, and the support actually, the moment occurs at the top. So that is why most of the reinforcement have been provided in such a way that the reinforcement should go at the top. So this is very important. So reinforcement are coming at the top. It starts from certain 1/4 distance of the beam, or the 1/4 length of the slab, and then from that portion it will be started and it will go like this. So these are all top reinforcement. You see, these are the top reinforcement. Bottom reinforcement is also there, but at least 50% must be there in the bottom and 50% should be at the top. But here actually, whatever reinforcement have been given at the middle one, that should be provided at the top, at this place. This is the beam place. So this is the beam, and right hand side, in my right hand side slab, this is the beam, this is the again left hand side slab, and this portion is a middle portion. This is the middle portion, and this is the edge portion, or this is the support portion. Now in the support portion, rods have been provided at the top. There should not be any rod at the bottom, but sometimes some bottom reinforcement are also provided for many reasons. Sometimes some chairs have been done just to binding of the rod properly in the proper place. Sometimes if you see there some extra rods have been, these reinforcement are not actually requirement, not for the reinforcement requirement. You see, this is this rod. These rods actually, this reinforcement is not for the reinforcement purpose. This is required for binding of the rod at the proper position, to held in proper position of the other direction rod. These have been provided. So this is one kind of auxiliary reinforcement or supporting reinforcement. It is required only for that. Now I will show you the concreting for planing. After vibration, you see two. একবার থামাও, একবার একবার পাটানা মারো, একবার পাটানা মারো, একবার এদিকটা একটু সরে এসো, একটু এপা, হ্যাঁ। Now you just see that how the planing is done. See, this is called tempering action. You see tempering action. After vibration, it requires proper planing. So how the proper planing can be done? So by means of this kind of planer, it is called as planer. In Bengali, it is known as pata. So this, by doing this thing, the playing is done, and you see lot of water is coming. Lot of water is coming. This is called bleeding. So this bleeding is due to all the moisture, all the water will come up because of the voids. Because concrete is a porous material, voids are there. So naturally, when you are just vibrating to some extent, then all the water will come up at the top because the void will be compacted now. So compaction is very much necessary for any kind of concreting. So naturally, compaction is done, pore volume will be reduced, and water will come up because of the compressive action. So that water must be clear it off, but without the water, concrete cannot be done. It requires for proper bonding, proper gaining strength, So strength gaining purpose, the water will be mixed along with the other constituents. And I think these things are more or less clear to you. Another reinforcement I'm just showing, that is staircase reinforcement. This has been given, this has been actually extended. Now these are the extension, this is the extension, this is the staircase reinforcement. We
Sir,
can,
it is completed.
okay, we can close it down. Thank you very much, Probal, to show all these videos. I think it is clear to you, most of the students, I think, to some extent. I have shown the live video also. This is the live video. So there you can, live video means that you've taken the video and putting it in the live form. So naturally, now I think it is clear that how the slab reinforcement is being laid in the two direction. If it is a two-way slab means when the spanning in two direction, the both way actually this force will come, load will come, moment will come. So in these cases, normally Ly by Lx would be more than 2 or equal to 2. And if it is more than 2, then slab will be spanning in only one direction. Shorter direction will be the critical for your slab design. And in the shorter direction, your main reinforcement will be there. And other direction, distribution bars will be there in case of a slab spanning in one direction. And in case of a two spanning direction, both way reinforcement will be there. But in the shorter direction, first reinforcement will be there, and at the top of this that layer, and the longer direction rod will be provided. So that's all. I think, do you have any question right now? You do have any question?
Sir, the marble, there is some stone in below the reinforcement.
That is spacer.
That is spacer.
That is spacer. That is spacer. Spacer.
That is removed while the molding is done.
No, that will be permanently, it will be remain there. And this spacer, that will be not removed. That is actually giving you the cover. Clear cover, I have mentioned the clear cover. So the clear cover is actually made by either a design spacer or putting some kind of stone like here. See, 15 millimeter, 25 millimeter, that type of spacer must be provided. Otherwise, you cannot properly align your reinforcement. Understand? এটা আগে থেকে দিয়ে রাখতে হবে, otherwise you cannot make the proper alignment of your reinforcement. reinforcement তো তলায় চেপে বসে যাবে, তারপরে তলায় চলে আসবে, তাহলে কভারটা তুমি দেবে কি করে? তাহলে উঁচু রাখতে হবে। উঁচু রাখতে গেলে ওখানে একটা সাপোর্টিং এরকম বিভিন্ন জায়গায় বিভিন্ন প্লেসে at certain interval you have to provide some spacer. Okay,
Sir, does spacer is only used in case of slabs?
No. For beam also, the column also, different spaces, all the reinforcement actions, the clear cover is provided, and all these cases, some kind of spacers are provided. Spacer is meant for keeping the clear cover properly. স্পেশারটা আমি দেখিয়েছি, বিমের স্পেশারটা দেখাইনি, বিমের স্পেশারটা আমি পরে দেখাবো অন্য একটা স্লাইডে। ইট ইজ অ্যাকচুয়ালি ভেরি ভাস্ট চ্যাপ্টার, ইন 1 day or in 1 hour it is not possible। আর তোমরা মাঝে মাঝে টাইমের পরে এসে জয়েন করছো, ইট ইজ অলসো ভেরি ব্যাড। মাঝে মাঝে এটা করলে টাইমের নষ্ট হয় এবং আমার বলারও তো বিক্ষিপ্ততা এসে যায় আর কি, আমি কন্টিনিউ করতে পারি না। সুতরাং টাইম মতন তোমরা জয়েন করবে। আর ইট ইজ এ ভেরি বিগ সাবজেক্ট, ইট ইজ নট ফর দ্য first year, second year only. It will be, say, it will continue lifelong, and it will be continued 3rd year, 4th year, everywhere. So naturally you can learn many more things. আমি জাস্ট তোমাদের একটু ফান্ডামেন্টালটা দেখাবার চেষ্টা করছি। আই এম জাস্ট শোয়িং সাম কাইন্ড অফ ফান্ডামেন্টাল সো দ্যাট ইউ হ্যাভ সার্টেন আইডিয়া অ্যান্ড অলসো ইউ ক্যান ড্র ইন ইউর সেশনাল প্রজেক্টস। ওকে ওকে
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I think we can stop it here. I think there is no further questions. Okay, right now whatever I have shown or whatever we have discussed, and if you have any questions, then we can again meet. We can meet in a separate meeting link, and we can discuss it in the some other time, not in this regular time. We can sit down at the night also, so that we can discuss these things again and again. I think something you have made it clear that what is slab reinforcement, how it is spaced, not going in deeper details, but actually to show. ঠিক আছে?
Yes, sir.
ওকে, না তোমরা ভালো করে পুজো কাটাও। হ্যাঁ, I wish you that very happy puja holidays, and you should also enjoy the puja holidays. And now we can stop it here. Okay, thank you very much. And
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
Thank you, sir.
you, sir.
Happy
Thank you, sir.
Happy puja.